What is up, Bulldog fans? It is your resident junior varsity All-American here, Bailey Pulliam, and with our first series of the 2020 Diamond Dogs in the books, I'd like to just look over and go over the stats and just kind of go over what we saw this past weekend and what we can expect going forward. So, we played Wright State. They're not a World Series caliber team by any stretch of the imagination, but they're definitely not a sleeper team. They won 40 some odd games last season. They did lose a bunch of guys, but their pitching, I feel like their pitching was pretty good, and they showed sparks and signs of life at the plate at different times, and they busted a couple balls in the gaps. But with this being the first series in the year, it's almost like a way too early prediction for like professional sports things that you may see. But I feel like we saw a lot of good things, a few things to build on, but I think we did really well considering. I feel like we have a bunch of steps that we can take moving forward as well. Let's get started with the pitching. The rotation for this weekend was JT Ginn, as expected, making his return, Christian McLeod, who is a redshirt sophomore, and then Eric Sarantola, who also played last year and had a bunch of innings. Starting with Ginn on Friday afternoon, the game was moved up. An original 4 o'clock start time was moved up to 1 p.m. due to weather. I believe the first pitch, the temperature was like 40 degrees or something like that. Definitely a little chilly outside. Ginn goes 3 innings, gives up 3 hits, 2 runs, both earned, only has 2 walks, and has 4 Ks. He throws 58 pitches total. And you first look at that and you're like, all right, you're a Friday night starter and you're only throwing 3 innings. Again, first series of the year. First time Ginn has been on the mound since last spring. 3 innings, yeah, it doesn't look great, but 58 pitches when it's 40 degrees outside, and your first time back, I feel like he did really well. He's getting back into a starting role. Like I said, it's been months and months and months since he's played against someone in a different colored jersey. I feel like he did really well. I feel like he is a contact guy, and I feel like he played that role really well. Having 4 Ks is always great, but he was able to pitch to contact, got a couple guys to pop up, got a couple ground outs as well. He did have a few misses, and that led to some balls in the gap, but being a contact pitcher, it is going to happen at times. But I know that's what he's going to be working on these next few days and few weeks. He's going to be working on spotting, locating, just getting back into the rhythm of things, right? I know late last season he had like an injury to his finger. It kind of held him up just a little bit. But I feel like he did really well, especially first game out, first game jitters maybe, being a day one starter. I feel like he did really well. He was able to battle around the guys that were able to get on base, and he only gave up 2 runs, which kept us in the game. Moving forward to Christian McLeod, our Saturday starter. Redshirt sophomore, I believe. I didn't really know what to think going in watching him, but he definitely surprised me. His stat line, 5 innings pitched, only gave up 1 hit, no runs, only 1 walk, and 11 strikeouts on 77 pitches. In my opinion, he had the best performance of the weekend. His first appearance on the mound, and he dominated 100%. He's a big, hard-throwing lefty. I heard a few people make the comparison to Ethan Small from last year. I don't know if I'll go that far just yet, but at the end of the day, the stats don't lie. You get 11 strikeouts in 5 innings, and that's pretty insane. That's awesome. Again, first weekend, I don't know if we could expect this on a regular basis, but if this becomes the norm for him, he's definitely going to keep Mississippi State in ball games. I was definitely very, very impressed with him. And only 77 pitches again. First game of the year. Later on, once we get into conference, the coaching staff, Foxhall, and Lamonis may start stretching that number a little bit, get him up 80, 90 pitches maybe. We'll just have to see. But I think he did really, really well, especially with it being his first appearance. Moving on to Sunday, the cleanup game where Mississippi State goes on to sweep the series. Eric Sarantola pitched quite a bit last year. He had a few starts. I believe he was more used in a relieving role once again got healthy. But I feel like even he did well. 4 innings pitched, only gave up 2 hits, no runs, 3 walks, and had 8 strikeouts himself on 79 pitches. And in my opinion, for a Sunday guy going 4 innings and having 8 Ks, I feel like that's awesome. I feel like that's really great. I feel like most Sunday games are, you want a guy who's going to give you 3-4 innings if they can, and then it's just going to be a rotation. Who can give you 2 innings here, an inning there, and just get you through the game. But I feel like he did really well. 4 innings, 8 Ks. I mean, you can't complain about 2 strikeouts an inning. 4 Sure. I feel like he picked up where he left off last year. He was really solid as a reliever last year, definitely. I feel like he was similar to Ginn in the fact, like, you may look at 4 innings and be like, wow, okay, and you're a starter. Do better, do more. But again, first series of the year, the weather wasn't great. Like I said, it was 40 degrees Friday at first pitch. I think maybe by the weekend it was maybe up to upper 40s, low 50s. But this definitely isn't our springtime baseball weather we are used to yet. Um, but again, he didn't allow any runs. And at the end of the day, as a starting pitcher, you go 4 innings, you don't give up any runs. That's kind of great. On to the relievers now. I'm not going to break down who pitched what innings throughout the entire weekend, but overall stat lines: Will Bednar, 3 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 2 walks and 4 Ks. Jared Schemter had 2 innings pitched with 1 walk and 1 K. Chase Patrick, 2 innings pitched, 2 walks and a strikeout. Jackson Forrester had 2 innings pitched with a hit and 2 strikeouts. Spencer Price, through an inning, closed out the game Sunday, struck out the side. Riley Self had 2 innings pitched with 1 hit, and he gave up 1 run. It was earned. Landon Sims pitched an inning, gave up 1 run that was earned, had 3 strikeouts, 2 walks rather, excuse me. And then Carlisle Kostler, probably mispronounced that, I apologize. 2 innings pitched, gave up 5 hits, 3 runs that were earned, and 1 walk with 3 Ks. Again, I just want to reiterate, this is a bunch of guys showing that they can get outs when they need to. Only a few guys giving up runs at all, but the runs that were giving up, 1, 2, 3, very manageable sizes here. There were a few walks giving up, but again, we're early in the year. As these guys get more comfortable throwing off the mound against people in other jerseys, I feel like they'll clean those up. And then even when those walks were giving up, a lot of the times they didn't result in runs. And I feel like that's the big picture to take from this. I feel like they know what they need to work on. They're going to get back into the pitching lab they have there at Duty Noble, and I feel like they're going to do really well in the next few weeks. And I definitely feel like they'll be prepared coming conference. Onto the hitting and the boomsticks that we had this weekend. I feel like we did well. Again, I'm going to keep reiterating, it is the opening weekend. You never know what to expect, if we're going to come out hot, if we're going to come out not. But I'm going to run through our guys' stat lines for each day, and then just kind of give an overall picture. So Rowdy Jordan, leadoff guy. I feel like he has been tasked with being the new Jake Mangum for Mississippi State. Leadoff switch hitter playing center field. And I feel like he did really well. Friday, he comes out. He went 2 for 4 and had 2 runs, 2 RBIs. And for your leadoff guy, that's really awesome. Saturday, 1 for 3, but he did have an RBI on a sac fly. Sunday, again, 2 for 4. He had 2 runs with a double. Jordan Westberg coming off a pretty strong year last year. Him and Justin Foscue, Jordan Westberg, Friday went 1 for 4 with a run. Saturday, 2 for 5 with a run. And then Sunday, 2 for 4 with 2 runs, an RBI, and one of those hits being a double. Again, I feel like he's going to be really strong 2-hole, 3-hole, 4-hole guy for us. Tanner Allen, kind of a weird situation for him. He's starting right field this year, but he took a foul ball off the knee Friday, and he only played Friday. He did go 0 for 4. He had 1 run, but he sat out Saturday and Sunday. They gave a couple other guys some chances in right field. I do believe he'll still be our right fielder going forward. Probably just didn't want to risk anything if the knee was maybe swollen, had a little inflammation, something like that. Getting him a little bit of rest early on. Justin Foscue, as I mentioned earlier, Friday, 1 for 4 with a double. He had 1 run. That double did give him 2 of his 3 RBIs, I believe. Saturday, 1 for 4 with a double, a run, and an RBI. Sunday, he went 0 for 3, but he did have a run and an RBI as well. So, already racking up the RBIs. I believe he's a 4-hole guy. He's a pretty solid 4-hole choice, in my opinion. Brandon Pimentel, new guy, transfer. Friday, 0 for 5, 2 Ks. Not the start he was looking for. Saturday and Sunday, though, was a little bit better. Saturday, he goes 1 for 4 with a run. Sunday, he goes 1 for 3 with a double. Luke Hancock got the start behind the plate Friday. He did go 0 for 1, and then Logan Tanner caught the rest of the series. He caught the rest of the game Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday, but we'll get to him in a bit. Josh Hatcher will be taking over the first base responsibilities this year, if this past weekend is any indication. Friday, 2 for 4, 2 runs and a double. Can't complain about that. Saturday, he moved up to the 3-hole with Tanner Allen being hurt. He went 1 for 4 there, and then Sunday he was also in the 3-hole, went 1 for 3 with an RBI on a sac fly. Cameron James, freshman, starting third base, I believe. I could be wrong there. But little brother of Keegan James, who was a pitcher at Mississippi State. Friday goes 2 for 4 with a run. Saturday goes 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs and a double. Sunday goes 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs. As a freshman, I feel like he's seeing the ball really, really well. He was able to put the ball in play, make contact, make things happen. Landon Jordan got some at bats last year. He's in the DH role, or was in the DH role this past weekend at least. Friday, he goes 2 for 2 with a run and 2 walks. Saturday, he goes 1 for 4 with a run. Sunday, he does go 0 for 3. But I feel like he's also seeing the ball really well. It's just going to be getting in a rhythm, getting those timely hits. Going back to Logan Tanner, he is also a freshman. Took over the catcher responsibilities from Luke Hancock about midway through the Friday game, and then started and played through Saturday and Sunday. Friday, he does go 0 for 3, but he picked it up Saturday. He went 3 for 4 with 2 runs, a solo home run, and a double. That blew me away. He's huge. Definitely the hitter of the game Saturday at least. Sunday, he does go 0 for 3, but I feel like he was seeing the ball really, really well Saturday, and if that is any indication, I feel like he's going to be a really good addition to the lineup for us moving forward. Drew McCowan, another new face. Sunday, he was playing right field. He did go 0 for 3. Brad Cumbus played a little bit of right field Saturday. He goes 1 for 2 with a double. And then Tanner Leggett pitch hit Sunday and goes 0 for 1. So that is all of our stat lines this far. The Bulldogs do play tomorrow at home at 4 o'clock against Samford. If you're not able to check it out and get to Dudy Noble Field, it will be on SEC Network Plus. And overall, I feel like this is a really strong team. I didn't know how to feel going into it. Obviously, we lost some big guys and Jake Mangum, Ethan Small, guys like that. But I feel like our starting pitchers did really well, even if they didn't have like really lengthy outings. I feel like they were very effective in their time that they were on the mound. I feel like our relievers did really, really well. We have some veteran guys in Self and Price to come out of the bullpen and show some leadership within the bullpen with the reliever guys, but they definitely showed that they're still around and they still have it. At the plate, I feel like we did well. Like I said, Wright State, they're not a World Series team, but they're not a pushover by any means. They threw some guys who gave us some troubles, but at the end of the day, we were able to put together the hits when we needed to. We capitalized on a couple of fielding errors. We were patient at the plate, took a couple of walks here and there. We got on base. We moved around the bases. We advanced when we needed to, and we were able to put the ball in play and score the runs, and that's the big thing. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. I want to start doing this at least weekly. I haven't decided if I'm going to keep up with midweek games in this fashion yet. But, again, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Hope to see y'all in the future. Peace. Much love. Talk to you guys later.